welcome to Driving Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan.
I'm Ryan.
And this is the podcast where we talk about 2 movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before we get into this week's movie, I want to talk to you about our Patreon. If you head over to patreon.com/Driving Double Feature Podcast, you get fun games, fun conversations, all for $5 a month. And you know what? You help support the channel. It's a channel, right? We're a channel. You know, I was doing so good, and then I just say channel for whatever reason. You help support the podcast. God, one of these days I can get through one of these perfectly, but today is not the day. But this Tuesday, we will be talking about the maybe perfect, we'll see, Sidekicks, which I don't remember the director's name. I don't even have it up on Wikipedia. Usually I always have this up on Wikipedia so I can read the plot synopsis for the movie. Isn't it crazy that we don't watch these movies? Whoops. Whoops.
What? Nathan?
No. I didn't mean that.
What are you saying, Nathan?
Nothing. I watch these movies always. All right, we are going to be okay. We're talking about Sidekicks from 1992. How did I forget that Aaron Norris directed this one? Chuck Norris's brother, who has made like a ton of stuff with Chuck Norris in it. And we've covered Chuck Norris before.
We did a Chuck Norris week at one point.
That's right, and actually, Invasion USA is one that still sticks in my mind to this day because I remember actually having fun.
What was the other one?
Firewalker. Yeah, Firewalker. You know, I remember the name. I didn't even have to look. Firewalker wasn't terrible.
No, it wasn't good though, because that was like Chuck Norris doing like a Indiana Jones ripoff.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. But Sidekicks is funny because it's a Chuck Norris movie, but not really, and we'll kind of get into that. But I have heard of this movie before, never seen it. I've heard of it because of the Nostalgia Critic. He did review this one back in the day. And I kind of already knew a little bit going into it, but other than that, I'd forgotten a lot about what his review said, and I've never seen it. But what about you, Ryan? Have you seen this one?
No, I've never seen the movie, and I only knew of it because of the Nostalgia Critic. So,
wow, you know, he's a real tastemaker.
He's so influential.
Yeah, he really is. But this movie opens up with a bunch of ninjas and a kidnapped lady. And this lady is just screaming. She's making some weird noises. Let me say that whenever she is like kidnapped in this movie.
Yeah, it definitely didn't sound like this was going to be a family film by her moaning.
Yeah, because this is a family movie. This is a movie. This is Family Week. We picked Family Week, and both of our movies have very similar things that happen in them, actually. Because Barry, who is the kid in this movie, he is a daydreamer, and he loves daydreaming himself.
Who does love Jonathan Brandis, by the way?
Who is Jonathan Brandis?
He was the little kid in Never-Ending Story 2.
Okay, which I have seen that. He did additional voices in Oliver and Company. Like, he's like one of those faces that like I know, but like I don't really like know a lot
He was in the movie Ladybugs.
Oh wow, I've never seen Ladybugs. I don't think, other than Caddyshack, no, that's wrong. I've never seen like one of those movies fronted by
No Rover Dangerfield.
No, never seen Rover Dangerfield. Like, I've seen like Natural Born Killers and Little Nicky, of course. But I've never seen an actual Rodney Dangerfield comedy. Maybe that'll be good for a trip
maybe
one time. But yeah, so he has asthma, but you know, which makes him a little weak in real life, but he imagines himself in these amazing things with Chuck Norris. So that's what's kind of weird about this movie, is that Chuck Norris is like this kid's idol god, and like he daydreams himself as a sidekick to Chuck Norris. So it's not like he's even the hero. He's like, Chuck, you get the girl. Chuck, you save the day, but I'm here. You know, I can fight, I can help you, but Chuck, you're the hero here, okay?
The thing I thought was weird about all these visions that he was having is there was always a damsel in distress, and it was always his teacher.
Yeah.
who I guess is dating his dad.
Yeah, they never really officially say that they're dating, but that's definitely where it goes by the end of the movie that they're an item. His dad, played by Beau Bridges, by the way, who always does a good job of playing like a doofy dad. That's just like the role he was born to play, I guess.
Oh, like from The Wizard.
Exactly, that's exactly. And his wife is dead in The Wizard as well, right?
Yeah, and
You know,
Christian Slater's right there.
yeah, I could watch The Wizard. I personally love the scene where him and Christian Slater are playing the NES together. Like just like it's like a bonding moment. That movie gets too
I don't
much
think they. I
trash.
don't.
Good
I
movie.
don't think. I don't think they do. I don't think they do play the NES
Do they
together. I think
not?
that's like they play the NES, but like it's at different times. Like he does it to annoy Beau Bridges, and then his dad like gets really into it while Christian Slater is sleeping or whatever.
Oh, yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe I'm just generally thinking because there's like the scenes where they're hanging out in the hotel together, bonding, right?
Right. But
Yeah.
they don't play at the same time. Yeah. So
Okay, so I was wrong as usual. Well, maybe then I need to rewatch it. But Chuck Norris does save this day, but these daydreams are so bad that they take over real life, right? He's like talking in the middle of class, like he's like, "Oh, Chuck, you're so great," or he sees visions in real life, like he will see like these ninjas from his daydreams pop up in his real life. And I think that's kind of like, if I remember the Nostalgia Critic review, it was like this kid needs like mental help. Like he needs some actual help if this is happening.
it's he has some undiagnosed mental condition.
Yes, he does. And nobody wants to
And
help him.
the fact, I mean, like, because it goes far beyond daydreams where he's like talking to himself. He's
Hmm.
talking to these visions. He could see them like right in front of him. Like it, and they're like, oh, like he's such a daydreamer. I'm like, this is like when you get so far engulfed into a dream where you're like communicating with it out loud,
Yeah.
verbally. That's some type of, I'd like, if I was the kid's teacher and I saw him talking in class to like
Hmm.
nobody like that, I would just say like, "Are you okay? Like, is everything fine?" Like,
Yeah, and then it wouldn't be like, oh, he's such a dreamer. It would be more like, oh, I need to talk to your dad about like some issues you're having in class.
hmm.
Um, but no, they just kind of let him go and just let him dream. And he wants to get into karate because he wants to be like Chuck Norris. So this is where it's Mako, right? It's not
Mako,
yeah, Mako is the guy who shows up, who is
an Oscar nominee.
yeah, Oscar nominated Mako, who is related to the teacher and is also a dreamer. So it sounds like it'll work together because, well, I guess before that, they think karate is going to be a good outlet for them, but then they go to a gym where the great Joe Piscopo is the dojo leader. Uh, Horrible in this movie. Absolutely horrible.
Joe Piscopo is awful in this movie.
Yeah, they put him up as like silly and like, but it's just like so over the top bad. Maybe it's a little funny as the dojo leader where he's like overly aggressive, but then he starts to
Hmm.
enter the kids' daydreams. And oh wow, this is bad. Like there's like a one that's like a parody of Missing in Action, and Joe Piscopo is doing a racist Asian accent, yellow face, has the Fu Manchu, and it's just horrible. It's so bad to watch.
Yeah,
Um,
100%. It is so bad. It
yeah,
he just he because Joe Piscopo was always like the guy that was like he was like one of like the leading people of SNL. Like when
yeah,
SNL was like in its weak years, it was like him and Eddie Murphy. Like they were like the only two people that people actually cared about on SNL at the time.
yeah. No, and
And
they held up the show. Because I've watched most of those, or actually every season with Joe Piscopo, and he was continually like the funniest one. I honestly, he was on it more than Eddie Murphy, so I think it made it like Joe Piscopo really held that. He was like the glue of the show for a long time. But they really attribute his downfall During SNL. I don't know if you ever heard of this story, but like Eddie Murphy and Joe Piscopo did a sketch together, and I guess I forget his name, the producer of the show, not Lorne Michaels, but the one that was in the in between years, told Joe Piscopo, "Hey, can you rein in?"
Oh, Dick Ebersol.
Yes, thank you. Dick Ebersol told like him to rein in Eddie Murphy, and he was like, "Okay, I can do that." And then the sketch ended. He kind of handled Eddie Murphy well, and then Dick Ebersol praised Eddie Murphy for his performance. He didn't praise Joe Piscopo at all, and I guess right in front of the studio audience and everybody. This was like not when it was live or anything. Joe Piscopo went off on Dick Ebersol, just like really was just pissed. And I guess people say from that day forward, is like time on SNL was pretty much ruined. And I
Yeah.
don't think he had much of a career after SNL.
No, and now he's kind of like
He's a
he's
Trumper.
gotten into yeah, he's gotten into politics and all that, which we won't get into that stuff, but he's not doesn't have a whole lot going on, is what we're trying to say.
Exactly, yeah. And I mean, it shows here. I mean, like people call him a hack comedian now, and this is not good proof to his good side at all. Um, So we have that on one side. And then on the other side, we have the kid with Mako learning like kind of weird things because, Mako's like, oh, your name's going to be Mr. Dumpling and stuff like that, being a little silly. But there's this bizarre scene in the middle of all this that I thought was a daydream, but it wasn't. For whatever reason, they're having dinner. The teacher, Bo Bridges, and then the kid and Mako are in the kitchen. And then a bunch of bikers show up and take
Mhm.
over the restaurant, and they're like over the top putting their feet on the food, making fun of Asian people. And it just seems so over the top, like the daydreams. No, this really happens. This is all actually going on.
This is one of the like goofiest fight scenes I've seen in a
Yeah,
movie where it's just, I mean, like, that very heavy slapstick, but they do stuff where like the guy, there's one bit where one guy gets hit and he goes like, ah, and he jumps like on the chair and then the ceiling fan hits him in the head. Uh, hot soup gets poured on him. He's like, ooh, wow, and then type of
yeah,
thing. And
yeah. He pours
he's
it on
like, do you
his
want
like
some
crotch.
rice?
Yeah.
You
Uh,
want some rice? And he just slams the guy's face into a plate of rice.
yeah, it's goofy. But there's something about I thought this movie was going to be horrible. I thought it was going to be a disaster. And it's not good, but let me say it is at least lighthearted, and I kind of had some fun with it. I don't think it's miserable. And I'm interested in hearing if you thought it was like miserable.
I thought it was pretty. I thought it was pretty miserable.
You did.
I got no enjoyment out of this one. I thought
Oh,
it was just like I just thought like one like I the, the daydream sequences in this movie are so dull.
it's
They're
true.
just not like, and the movie is majority of this movie is daydream sequences, I feel like,
It
and
is.
it's they have no bearing on the plot whatsoever other than just to show that, hey, like I don't like this guy or whatever,
Hmm.
and just to have more screen time for Chuck. Um, and I didn't really care for it all that much. I thought it was not very good.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's fine. Because I also agree. It's not a very good movie. I kind of had fun with it at times because I thought it was goofy. But yeah, the daydream sequences needed to be toned down. I think we needed more of a family aspect to this, which we got with the Bo Bridges thing. But then you'd have like these like daydreams, like you said, that would just be like, I hate Joe Piscopo's character, or I hate my principal, or I hate my bullies. And we already know that because he's getting picked on at school, and and elements like that.
Well,
And
and
I get,
also too, other thing too, it is very much a shameless rip off of Karate Kid.
oh yeah, easily, yeah. Chuck Norris is Karate Kid pretty much. Even though Chuck Norris has like no bearing on this movie really, other than he's like this kid's hero. And I actually maybe find it a little annoying that because in the end of the movie, Chuck Norris for real shows up and helps out the kid. And I think it should have been more like about him getting over having a hero like that and just realizing
I,
like his true self.
I thought that would, I mean, that would have been better, where it would have
Yeah.
been something like, hey, like Chuck is, he's a really cool guy, but I'm also like somebody that can achieve a lot, and I don't
Mhm.
need to idolize him as much as I used to. Or or Chuck Norris could have given him like a pep talk, being like, hey, like I'm just a guy, I don't
Yeah.
I'm I you're pretty special too, like that type of
You're a
thing.
cool kid. I like you. Or just something like
It
that.
but it's very much just like he loves Chuck Norris. They have this big karate tournament, and he wins, but he also had the other thing too this movie does is this kid has like a debilitating asthma.
Yeah. Horrible asthma. Like it puts him in the hospital at one point in the movie where we get the reveal of like the doctor's like, he should be over this by now. He doesn't actually have asthma. This is a placebo. And it's like, it doesn't seem like it because this kid is like, it's bad. Like he is. There's the one silly scene where he breaks the asthma canister on the ground and it like explodes.
It shatters
Yeah, it's
like
insane.
glass.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm gonna beat this thing, and he doesn't beat
and then
this
he
thing.
and then he then he just almost dies.
But don't worry, Dream Chuck Norris helps him out because he's like, just breathe slowly, just breathe in, breathe out, because Dream Chuck will always be there.
And oh, there's the mean gym teacher played by Richard Mole.
Oh, that's right, screaming into the camera, really mugging it up. And this gym teacher is horrible to this kid, just absolutely mean. Um,
Well, because he's so mean to him, and he notices him daydreaming because since he
mhm,
has this condition where he can't do anything like physical,
yeah.
he's always sitting out of gym, and the gym teacher just sees him uh that daydreaming, and he's like, it's time for your physical assessment, climb up that rope right now. And I'm like, oh my God, if he died or something right
Uh-huh.
there, like that gym teacher would have been screwed.
Yeah, Andy, that's what he says in the next scene. He's like, if you die on me again, I think he said, I will kill myself and hunt you down in the afterlife, which
Yeah.
is insane. Yeah, so like that's right, because he climbs that rope with the help of Dream Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is like, hey, this is how you do it. You put this leg over this leg, and then you climb
One
up
arm,
slowly.
one arm after the other.
Wait,
Wrap your legs around it, or
which question? Did you ever climb rope in gym class?
no.
Yeah, I don't. This is a movie trope, climbing rope in gym class. I did go to a gym once that did have it, but we did not climb it. So I don't know. This is just movie trope because I asked my dad the same question, and he also said he had never seen anything like that or done
I've
anything
n-
like that.
I've never have attended any school where they had rope climb.
Yeah, which is good. I'm okay with that. Um, but yeah, so all of this happens. There's also this girl that he has a crush on in this movie, and which which is such a painful moment whenever he like asks her out. He actually gets the courage pretty early in the movie to ask her out, and she's like, no, I like you because I feel sorry for you, because I feel bad for you. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
which triggers his asthma, but yeah,
could you imagine? That sucks.
I- he yeah, that was the whole thing where he was just like, I just feel so bad for you, and
Oh, yeah,
it's like,
I
wow,
heard that and I was like,
thanks. I feel so much better. Thank you.
yeah, I heard that. I was like, oh, that's gotta hurt. But that's what was weird about the daydreams, because later on it's revealed with him and Chuck Norris that they're saving the teacher, and then he has control of it, and he's like, oh, and it turns out they're actually saving his like classmate, and he goes, this is my daydream, Chuck. I can have the girl that I want, which I think is so weird that in his own daydreams he's daydreaming of a girl that he doesn't even like. He's like, oh,
Well,
Chuck will like this girl.
it's almost like he's like imagining him and Chuck Norris and his teacher being a couple. Like, wouldn't it be
Yeah,
so cool if like my teacher and Chuck Norris were dating? That'd be so
which is
great.
so weird. And how is he going to explain that now that his dad and her are an item together? Um, I
Well,
don't know.
we don't know that for sure.
That's true, but they do
I,
end up. Oh, go ahead.
no, yeah, I was just gonna say it's. I lost my train of thought. Forget it.
Oh, I interrupted you. But no, they end up going to a karate tournament. That's like the end of the movie, and it becomes just
Oh,
very cliche.
no, we're gonna say, yeah, but that tournament is so weird. Like they just let anybody into the tournament. Like, because I thought it was gonna be like a tournament for,
Mhm.
teenagers, like Karate Kid, because that was like how it
Yes.
was in Karate Kid, where it's like you had people in the same age group were fighting, but it was like, but like, oh no, it's gonna be the kid, his teacher, his and Mako, who's an old man,
Yeah.
and they're like, we need a fourth, and but I'm just like at the same time, who would let these people like? It's just that's such an odd group.
Yeah, it makes no sense because there could be a team of four of just like the most elite martial artists in the world, destroying everybody.
Well,
It
that's what I thought. I was like,
yeah,
why did what's to stop them from having them come in?
yeah, it's a really weird. It's so weird, in fact, that I was confused. So they go up to the table and they're like, "We got three people," and I was like, "Three people? Who are the other two people?" And it took me a while to realize that, oh yeah, the teacher and sensei are both going to be a part of the team. So weird. And then yeah, they just asked Chuck. They literally just asked Chuck Norris, like, "Hey, you want to be a part of our team?" And Chuck Norris is just so cool and calm. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, I gotta teach. He's like, I gotta teach Joe Piscopo a thing or two. So I will. I'm getting out of retirement.
Well, because that was the whole thing. Joe Piscopo's character says, the whole reason why Chuck Norris doesn't even compete anymore is because I would kick his ass.
Yeah, and then you know what? Chuck Norris kicks his ass, and like quite a scene where Joe Piscopo is wearing a extremely fake bodysuit where he's like built, and you can see it around the neck where it's just like not perfectly met up. And he's like screaming and like coming out, and of course Chuck Norris is he deals with him very quickly. But that's not the end of the movie. The big final tournament is the breaking of the bricks against the kid and the bully. And I that was so funny when they stacked up all his bricks and Mako was like, "Here, let me help you," and he lights the bricks on fire. It's so stupid.
Well, I don't know why they did because I thought they were going to do something else at the end because Mako comes in and Mako breaks bricks too.
That's right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, okay, like they're gonna have, they're gonna do something else or whatever. But there's like, no, we're gonna do more brick breaking.
Yeah. They couldn't think of
Because the
another tournament.
well, because the teacher did like, Tai Chi or whatever,
Yeah, some kind of like
like
dance.
and I was like, okay, they're all gonna do something they specialize in. And
Mhm.
okay, Mako breaks the bricks and the kid's gonna do something else. Like, no, the kid's gonna be breaking bricks. And did you notice too, like as soon as Mako broke through the first brick, uh like the bottom brick broke too. So
I did not notice that.
because he didn't even punch it like all the way through and they were already like on the ground.
That's so funny. Mako really couldn't do that?
He could.
Oh, he could? Okay, cool. But yeah, so yeah, and that is how the movie ends with him breaking the bricks. Everybody's having a good time, and the kid doesn't need Chuck Norris anymore. He talks to him on the bench, and Chuck Norris just disappears. And he leaves behind his Chuck Norris magazine that is well used, let me say, ripped and like
He's
everything.
reading it very ferociously.
Yes. And a kid in a wheelchair picks it up and he's like, you know what? I love Chuck. And then it's a very
He-
touching, memorable moment.
He's one kid overcame asthma, one kid is gonna overcome paralysis.
Hey, who knows? He could be somebody that just needs it to get around. He just has a hard time on. Could you imagine if the doctor's like, why is he still in a wheelchair? Doesn't he know he can walk?
It's a placebo chair.
It's a placebo chair. That's good. I love that. So yeah, but no, that's Sidekicks. Very much a like it's such a product of the 90s, especially the early
Well,
90s.
before we end, because it
Okay.
sounds like you're about to wrap up.
Yes, I am.
So I was wondering, like, why was this movie, like, why was Chuck Norris barely in this movie?
Okay.
And apparently at one point this was going to be a Canon movie, which, Canon worked exclusively almost with Chuck Norris.
Yep.
And it seemed like so when Canon was like in its dying days, what they were going to do is they were going to make this movie and actually utilize all their previous Chuck Norris movies and put in clips of like those Chuck Norris, kind of like the Godzilla movie, All Monsters Attack, where
Wow.
they were going to just have like a bunch of stock footage from Chuck Norris movies, and they were be able to like cobble it together into like a whole movie
That's
type of thing.
horrible.
And originally they wanted Chuck Norris, and he basically was not really interested, but I guess they were like, oh well, it's going to be like the Karate Kid, and he was like, okay, well, it's got to have a strong moral message, and I want it to be very family friendly, and I guess he got his brother to direct the movie, and he did it, as a favor for his brother too.
Oh, okay. And that's why he's barely in it, because it's supposed to be like more of a family movie than anything. And
I
I don't
that and
know.
he probably I think they were just making it way too cheap. They're like, oh, we only got Chuck Norris for like a day or something.
Yeah, I can see that. And we only have Joe Piscopo for a few hours because he costs a lot of money.
Hmm.
Mhm.
He was making that Piscador.
Piscopo. Nice, nice. Is Bo Bridges? Bo Bridges, I'm guessing, is pretty cheap too. Then
I mean, when you can't get Jeff.
when you get Bo, oh, that's such a downgrade too. I got nothing. I got nothing against Bo, but like if you're looking for Jeff, and then you're like, oh, all we can get is Bo. Like you got a different character. You get a
Yeah,
completely different person in that role, except for in Fabulous Baker Boys. You ever seen that one?
no.
They play brothers in that movie, which is it's a stretch for them. Uh,
That seems miscast.
could you imagine? There's not a lot of way that can't happen a lot. But anyway, it's an okay movie. But yeah, no, I'm wrapping up. I think it's probably mediocre at best. I kind of had some fun with it, but I wouldn't recommend watching this one. Just kind of forgettable early 90s movie.
It's very uh it's a very repetitive movie. Like I said, I found it to be pretty dull for the most part, so I could
Mhm.
not recommend this movie.
All right. Well, that is that. But Ryan, what are we covering on Thursday?
Well, Nathan, we're going to be talking about the movie Munchie, and that
Mm,
is streaming on Tubi right now.
awesome. I'm ready to munch on into that one. But if you want to email us, you can email us at driveanddoubleFeaturePodcast@gmail.com. Also, be sure to wait. Did I say that correctly?
What?
I'm gonna no, I think I said that correctly. If you want to subscribe to us, you can subscribe to us over on YouTube, but you can also find us on any podcast platform out there. But until next time.
Until next time.